Who are we? We are women, we are human, we are equal. I am a first-generation American Indian child. My mom and dad came to America in the late 90s, and soon after, I was born. I grew up indulged in the American culture, while at the same time trying to keep up with my roots at home. My mom enforced speaking Hindi, watching Bollywood movies, and learning about the history of the Indian culture. One thing she never brought up, however, was the role of women. As I grew older, I started to see how women are treated here in America versus how women are looked upon in India whenever I did visit. Not only by visiting, but just by watching Bollywood movies, I learned the social stigma surrounding women in India. By the Indian mentality, the typical woman is supposed to dress modestly, know how to cook, cater to her husband's needs, and nurture her children. Though this mentality is changing for the better as time and society progresses, it still is underlyingly very present. Today's concerns in India are not so much corruption or even the numerous rape cases, but rather that a woman is showing too much cleavage or is wearing too short of shorts. Even though times are changing and society is becoming more accepting of the liberation of women within the culture, it still is hard to go out as a woman wearing somewhat revealing clothes without being constantly looked at inappropriately or catcalled at. It has become such a big part of daily life there that the girls and women have learned to ignore and filter out all the negativity surrounding their image, which in turn might be good, but also the problem still does remain. Although it is easy for women living in India to adapt, it never is easy for me whenever I visit. One time a couple of years ago, I was sitting on the bus and these groups of boys on trucks kept trying to get my attention and trying to say really vulgar things to me. As much as my mom would yell back to protect me, it would only fuel them more. Not only that, but the people on the bus did absolutely nothing to help. That experience made me realize how difficult it is to adapt to the lifestyle of women in India, that this must happen in other places too, and how much women have to go through to deal with emotionally impactful events such as this one. We see inequality for women in the workplace as well. Women get paid lower than men in both India and America. Even though more and more women have started working in India, the stigma of women still remains that of a housewife or one of someone who cannot achieve as much as a man can. We see that here in America too. When we refer to doctor, engineer, or architect, the first thought that unintentionally comes to our mind is men, that the person we are referring to is automatically a man. According to an article by BLS, in 2009, only 24% of CEOs in the US were women, and they earned 74.5% as much as male CEOs. Another very dominant issue is rape culture. There have been an obscene amount of rape cases between the two nations that have been very overlooked. In 2012, there was a massive gang rape in the capital of India, Delhi. The men proceeded to take out the woman's intestines and other organs, which eventually led to her death. Yes, this was huge news not only in India but also worldwide. But what was done about it other than a few riots by the people who actually cared? Nothing. In fact, there was a documentary made about it that the government of India banned from going on national television. In America, the rape cases went down between 2006 and 2013 and then shot up drastically and is continuing to go up as of today. At the end of 2016, the average number of rape cases in the United States was a total of 95,730. Women shouldn't be viewed as objects. It is painful to constantly worry about getting raped or overlooked about something just because of your gender. It is so difficult for me to grow up in an environment where I cannot wear what I want, where I have to constantly have pepper spray on me, where I cannot walk alone at night because of the fear of getting sexually assaulted by a male in some dark alleyway, where I have to constantly worry about my body image and how the world perceives it. Though I am thankful that society is beginning to change and is beginning to realize these difficulties, there still is a long road ahead, and hopefully we all will, one day, get the equality we deserve.